Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
More importantly, hey champ, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
You good?
I'm good, man.
You're at the gym. You got the snow too, huh?
No, we ain't got it. We getting it tomorrow.
Oh, I got shitload here.
we getting it tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, good seeing you, man. I'll see you in Vegas this week. Anyway, good having you. How's training going? Everything good?
Everything great. Right. We just ready to rock and roll.
Great. So, I want to just expand on this. Listen, Terence is, from the lightweight champion to the super lightweight unified champion to the welterweight king, and obviously now the pound for pound king. There has never been anybody he's ever wanted to duck or hide from or anything like that. So we've always lined up the best fights for him and who's ever available. And anybody else that says that Terence isn't fighting anybody else, they could look at, it's not Terence. He wants to fight everybody. So we've been lining it up. So the burden is on everybody else to fight him. He's the king. Kell Brook'S obviously has a big storied history. Obviously with his big win over Sean Porter a number of years ago and jumping up in weight class to fight Golovkin. And then, which was an impressive but tough fight for him when Golovkin was at his peak. And then, losing a close one with Errol Spence. More importantly, I think what we've seen is that, if anyone didn't see, Terence was terrific on this show on ESPN this week called Relentless. And I think it really personifies the Terence Crawford story. Just about where he comes from, how he fights, where he started from. Nobody babysat, nobody, spoon fed, and worked his way up, clipping everybody off. And, it's been a great run and been real honor for all of us at Top Rank to create the body of work we have with Terence and to see the worldwide recognition as the king of the sport. So, I'd like to introduce it over and throw it over to Terence. And Terence, and keep in mind, Terence is no stranger to the bubble. He hasn't fought in the bubble, but he's been to the bubble. So he knows a little bit about what to expect. It is off. It's a little bit in an environment that it's different and we all are getting used to. But Terence has been in there, I think, in support of his stablemate Jamal Herring. And so he was in there and he knows what it's in front of him. So I'm going to throw it over to the champ and tell everybody how your training's going and what you're looking forward to.
Oh, man. Training's been great this camp. Everything has went according to plan and we looking to go out there and look spectacular come Saturday.
Thank you very much, Terence. And we are going to start the question portion of this with Keith Eidig from Boxing Scene. So Keith, please go ahead when ready. You should be unmuted, sir.
Hey, Terence, I'm not sure if you heard any of what Kell Brook'S said earlier, but he said in a quote that he was either going to stop you or make you quit on your stool. What is your response to that?
Well, let's see. Words don't mean nothing. You're gonna have to really, really live up to them words that you actually saying you're gonna do.
Does it surprise? I don't remember hearing people say that about you when they got into the ring, before they got into the ring with you. Did it surprise you that he said that?
No.
Hey, Terence.
A lot of people.
Hey, Terence. Looks like we have a bit of Terence. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty here. Hey guys, I'm sorry. It looks like we had a bit of a technical difficulty on Terrence's end. Hold on, just be patient. Give me 1 second, and we will fix this. Hold on 1 second, guys. Thank you. Hey, Terrence. Sorry, it looked like there's a bit of a technical issues on your end with the phone. Can you hear us, Terrence?
Yeah, I can.
No. Hey, Terrence, it's nope. You gotta mute it.
Always y'all. That's what I was saying.
Fox is on. Everybody, we're just waiting. Getting Terrence back. Terrence, can you hear us? Hold on 1 second, everybody. Thank you. Hey, Terrence, can you hear us? Hey, Terrence, can you hear us?
Is that better?
Much better, Terrence. Much
Yeah.
better. Thank you, Terrence. All right. So, hey, Keith, can you? We're going to go back. We're going to resume back to where we are, back to where we were. Keith, please go ahead. If you could re-ask the question you did, because I don't think I don't think we all heard Terrence's answer. So, Keith, please go ahead when ready.
I think all I had asked him was he surprised that Kell Brook'S said what he said about making him quit or stopping him in the fight?
I was saying, no, not really. You're supposed to feel that way coming into one of the biggest fights of his career. He's not the only opponent that went into the fight believing that they was going to stop me or knock me out. So that's nothing new for me. He's just going to have to live up to his words.
Thanks, Terrence.
Thank you very much, Keith. Let's see who else. Wait, now we go over to the UK with Pep Talk, our friends over there. So please unmute and go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terence, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Hey, what's going on?
Terence, Kell Brook has questioned your credentials at 147 pounds and says that you've not fought anyone of note. Would you make of his comments?
Well, I'm fighting him, so that's all that matters. If he feels I never fought nobody at 147 or I don't have any credibility, then this should be a cakewalk for him.
You've been out the ring for almost a year. Is it a bit risky going back in the ring with a well-decorated fighter in Kell Brook at 147 pounds?
Not at all.
Former world champion.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm great. I feel good. I feel strong. I can fight at the end of the day. So being out the ring is not going to affect me or hurt me in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you very much. And again, please use the raise hand button or send a private message on the chat if you'd like to ask Terrence a question. So now we go back to the UK. Jonathan Nagyoff. Jonathan from Pro Boxing Fans, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, Terrence. Where do you rank Kell Brook in terms of the opponents you've faced in your whole career, and how long has Kell Brook been on your radar for?
Well, I actually can't rate him because I've never been in a ring with him yet. And actually, he never was on my radar from the jump. This was a fight that he wanted, that he kept calling for. And, once the Pacquiao fight didn't fall through, he was the next option, given that the circumstances of COVID and whatnot. So, I must have been on his radar. He never was on my radar, but he's on my radar now. And we fighting this weekend. That's what it is.
All right. Thank you very much. And now we move ahead to Sean Zattel from Fight Hype. Sean, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terrence. I know from speaking with you in the past, you were talking about getting into, you were enforcing more exchanges or allowing more exchanges to happen, trying to please the fans, be in fights that please the fans. And do you want to, and then you talked about maybe getting more back to boxing heading into this next fight. Is that what we see with Brook? I mean, we know you've been boxing brilliant, but are you going to try and pitch more of a shutout performance or still go ahead and, let those exchanges rattle off so you can go for the knockout? Or
well, I'm gonna do me. Once I get in the ring and assess my opponent, and once the fight get going, then I'm gonna do me. If the knockout comes, it comes. If it don't, then we prepared to go 12 hard rounds.
Did you get a chance to see his last fight when he knocked out a fighter, Mark DeLuca? And what'd you think of that fight if you got a chance to see it? I
actually didn't get to see it. So,
how do you think too much is being made about the losses he's had in his past against Spence and Golovkin heading into this fight?
Yeah, I'm not worried about people trying to say he washed up or trying to downgrade him. I use that as a distraction. I'm prepared for the best Kell Brook that we possibly can prepare for come Saturday. And we're going to be ready for whichever Kell shows up this week.
If he does show up in that form, like he did against, Golovkin and Spence, what kind of fight do you think of it as in your head? How do you see it playing out?
It's going to be a good fight, but who knows? I'm sharp as a razor right now, so we're going to see.
Hey, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sean. Let's see who else we have over here in the chat queue. So we're going to go back. Terence, very popular in the UK since his days against Ricky Burns. We go to Gaz from Behind the Gloves. Gaz, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terence, it's Gaz from Behind. It's been mentioned already that Kell Brook'S fought Golovkin, Spence, where he's given a really good account of himself. Is there anything Kell Brook does that worries you?
Not at all. I didn't see it all. Given that Kell Brook has fought a lot of good opponents.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
What's that?
I think that was on Gaz's end. So, sorry, you were mentioning about Kell Brook.
No, I was just saying, we're gonna be ready for whatever. Like, I'm not focused or worried about any of that. That Kell Brook, gonna bring to the table, because I'm gonna adjust to whatever it is that he does. Stop.
I guess now Terence is outside, so we go ahead to Jake Donovan from Boxing Scene. Jake, please go ahead when ready.
Thank you very much, Evan. I have the same question for Terence and for Todd. It's about Relentless. Terence, I just wanted to know what you thought of seeing the shoulder programming going into this fight, and how it feels to have that kind of attention, that big fight attention, without it having to be a pay-per-view.
I don't know. I don't know. It feels good for the content to be out there. I feel like it should always be out there, whether it's a pay-per-view or not. I consider this a big fight for boxing fans, and yeah.
Okay, very cool. Thanks, Terence. I appreciate it. And Todd, if you can kind of answer the same question, just how important is it for top-ranked best pound-for-pound fighter to get this type of attention?
Well, I mean, this is obviously, it's one of our priorities is constantly keeping it going and keeping the awareness and getting Terence Crawford as mainstream as possible. And I think we can all talk about in the boxing world how great he is, and we all live in a little, and sometimes a little world. And our job as his promoter, and our job is to make him as big as possible. And when we bring him to the biggest platforms and the biggest network, when he's showing in his fights and they do big numbers, those are terrific. We have obviously, you saw Relentless. It was part of that. I think in Terence's last fight, we had blood, sweat, and tears. These are shows that we produce in house. I think, and Terence can speak on it. I think Andre and Terence have a really good interaction. We saw that back in December when they sat down for a talk. And so when we did Relentless, I think the two of them feed off each other really well. And I think you get the best out of Terence there. And then we're going to have real time this week. So we'll have weekly posts of everything going on and content being circulated everywhere to drive awareness. And this is what our job is. And then it's Terence's job to come off the way he is and show people in the ring the night before and show people outside of the ring, who he is and what makes him so special.
Thank you so much, Todd. Terence, best of luck this weekend. Good to have you back at the ring.
Thank you, Jake. And now we go to Eric Woodyard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now we go to Eric Woodyard from ESPN.com. Eric, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, what's up, Terence? How you doing, man? You look around at boxing right now. You look around at boxing right now. And you see the lighter division, you see what Tank doing, and a lot of the just star-making performances that's been going around. Obviously, you've been getting TKOs and KOs and the things you've been doing. Do you feel any urgency to close the show in any type of way to really just I mean, obviously you big, like we just mentioned, big in boxing, but just to get that star-making performance as far as mainstream, do you feel a way that you have to win this fight a certain way to really cross over?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, me, how I go about fights is just make sure you get the win, no matter how they come. So I'm not going out there to try to outdo a previous performance or any other fighter. My thing is just to go out there and make sure I get the win and secure that first, and everything else can come second. If the knockout's there, of course I'm going to go out there and take it. But if it's not, then like I said before, we prepare for 12 hard rounds.
Is this a fun time in boxing for you right now? Just looking around at just all the young talent, like just is this a fun time to be a part of the sport right now?
It's always been a fun time to be a part of the sport. You know, I couldn't think of a time when it wasn't.
All right, thank you very much. And now we stay in Las Vegas. Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Sam, please unmute and go ahead when ready, sir.
Terence, thank you for the time today. Really appreciate it. Couple quick questions for you. I mean, with all this talk about, you know, the mainstream and you being in the mainstream, I was just curious, right now, when you go out, say when you're out in public and when you're with your family in public, do you get approached and stopped a lot? Do people recognize you as arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? You get a lot of attention like that?
Of course. Everywhere I go, people come up to me, say, yo, that's Terence Crawford. That's the best fighter in the world. It doesn't matter where I be. You know, I done been all over the world, all across in different countries, and they still notice me. And, you know, and that just let me know where I stand in the sport of boxing today.
Do you enjoy getting that kind of attention?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Sometimes, you know, like when you're out with your family and you're eating, and one person want a picture and you don't want to seem like an asshole, you tell them, yeah, then next thing you know, you got 50 people lined up to take a picture with you. It kind of get irritating, but at the same time, this is what we do it for. And without the fans, there's no us. So, you know, it just comes with the territory.
Absolutely. And then the last thing for me, Terence, at this stage of your career, with everything you've accomplished and with the way you've accomplished it, where does your biggest motivation at this stage? What do you want to prove? What do you want to showcase? What drives you at this stage of your career to continue being the #1 boxer in the world?
Just showing everybody that I'm the best, you know, just competing. You know, that's it. You know, just proving all the doubters wrong and all the naysayers that I'm the best fighter in the world.
Thank you very much, Sam. And now we go back across the pond to our friends over at Boxing UK. So please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Hi, Terence. It's Steve from Boxing UK. Terence, one of the things Kell said is you haven't faced anyone like him in the past. What do you think Kell brings to the table that you might not have encountered before?
Well, he never faced nobody like me. You know, so he can say I never faced nobody like him, and I can say he never faced nobody like me. And I don't know what he brings to the table because I haven't been there. I haven't been in the ring with him. So we shall see come this week what he brings to the table.
Just moving forward, Terence, over the weekend, Bob Arum said that he was looking for fights against Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence. But one of our pound-for-pounds, Josh Taylor, over the weekend said he would fight you tomorrow. What do you think of that? And if you could pick one, who would you want?
I would pick Manny Pacquiao. Josh Taylor still got unfinished business at 140. He shouldn't be thinking about me right now. He should be thinking about Ramirez.
Thank you very much from our friends over in the UK. And let's see who else we have. We got a bunch more in the queue. So let's go to Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Thank you. Hey, Terence, maybe this is going to sound crazy for you, but a lot of Mexicans, they put you in the number one of pound for pound instead of Canelo. What is the meaning for you that a lot of Mexicans put you in this place? And if you see in the future, if you grow in weight division, a fight with the Mexican warrior?
Well, that just shows, that a lot of people respect me for what I've accomplished in the sport of boxing. And, Canelo's a tremendous talent. And, I respect everybody's opinion. And now I don't never think me and Canelo will fight. He's, 168, 175. I'm just 147. So I'll never see that fight ever really happen.
Very much. And now we go to Josh Katzowitz from Forbes. Josh, please unmute and ask your question when ready.
Hey, Terence. Talked to Errol Spence last week, and he said he thought that if a fight between you guys didn't happen in 2021, he didn't think it was going to happen at all. I was wondering what you thought about that, and if you thought, obviously, I know you're not looking ahead past Kell Brook, but if it doesn't happen with a fight with Spence doesn't happen in 2021, do you think it's just kind of going to go by the wayside?
Yeah, it might, but like I said, I never really felt like I really needed Errol Spence for my legacy or my career. I've accomplished so much in the sport of boxing that, I really didn't need him. Yes, I needed them for my legacy at the welterweight division and becoming a two-time undisputed champion in two different weight classes. But if that fight don't happen, I don't feel like, it hurt my legacy. It just hurt the legacy of the welterweight division.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh. I know we have a bunch of people asking questions. The parents got to get back to it. So we'll probably have time for a couple more before we sign off. So again, anybody wants to raise hands or message me in the private message down below, and we will get to you. We're going to go back to the UK with Gaz from Behind the Gloves. Gaz, please unmute and go ahead.
Hey, Terence, I didn't really hear your answer before because my internet dropped out. But just going back to the point, does Kell do anything that worries you? In beating Kell, if successful on Saturday night, would it be your best win at welterweight?
Given that Kell is a former champion, I wouldn't say that's my biggest win. I still view the Jeff Horn fight as my biggest welterweight win, being that he was coming off a upset victory with Manny Pacquiao. So I feel like, he was the champion at the time. Kell Brook had nothing to lose, a lot to gain. So he really had nothing to offer me but a name. So no, I wouldn't say that's my biggest victory at welterweight.
Thanks, Terence.
Thank you. And next we go to Mr. Lee from Seconds Out. So please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Hi, Terence. How are you?
What's going on?
Good. I was just wondering what you think ahead of Spence's fight on December the 5th. Do you think he's going to come out there with the victory?
I don't know. I'm not even focused on what they got going on. I'm focused on my fight this weekend. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Looks like we have a couple more. Gail, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Thanks very much. We'll try to get through this one without another dog barking. Terence, you got quite a compound there in Nebraska. It seems almost like a team atmosphere. Do you consider that a big advantage to you? And is anything altered that during COVID?
I wouldn't say it's an advantage, because at the end of the day, when you get in that ring, can't nobody fight for you. Yes, it's always beautiful with everybody cheering for you and rooting for you, but at the end of the day, you know, we all fighters, we done been in places where everybody booing us and still came out on top. So it just, you know, that warm feeling of having everybody cheer for you and motivate you. But at the end of the day, you still got to fight.
Well, you took a lot of trouble to go to the bubble to see your buddy Sergeant Herring, so you expect him ringside?
Oh, for sure. You know, I expect him and Steven Nelson to be ringside.
Good luck to you, Terrence.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gail. And I know my apologies. We're not going to get to all the questions for Terrence. Terrence does have to run, so I do apologize for that. Terrence, any closing thoughts as you're one day away from the bubble, and anything else you'd like to say to the fans out there who are going to be watching Saturday night on ESPN and Premier Sports in the UK?
I would like to thank everybody that support Terence Crawford and Team Crawford. Looking forward to this weekend, and I hope everybody tune in and watch for a good show. And I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance.
Well, thank you, Terrence. I'm sure, as always, you will put on a spectacular show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And to remember, Saturday night, 10 p.m., ESPN and ESPN Deportes, undercard, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. And also for our great UK fans, Premier Sports. You can watch it live there as well. Thank you, everybody, and you all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Terrence.
Bye.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.